Young World. So Jaguar Wright does an interview on NCTUFF TV, and she goes on to say that she has inside information and receipts allegedly that the doctors who came and worked on DMX right before he passed away, nobody knew who they was. She said that the doctors aren't on the paperwork at the hospital. None of the hospital staff knew who the doctors were, and they're just mysterious people that showed up out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I already said on other videos about the whole. And as far as Jaguar, right, I'm not really sure like the status of her. I remember when she first came out, like a couple months, maybe a year ago, saying a lot of stuff. She was a big topic. During that, I didn't really keep up with it, so I'm not sure if her reputation was tarnished since that time, or if she's not credible no more, or whatever the situation is. You know what I'm saying? But that's what she said. But I said on other videos, for one, I never seen nobody OD off crack. Maybe one person. I said maybe one or two, but I've been around plenty of crackheads my whole entire life. Family members, I knew plenty of people smoking crack. I never heard nobody just overdosing off smoking crack. One or two out of about a couple thousand. You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing. The second thing about DMX that we all know, just like with a lot of other people who have problems with crack, you can pretty much tell the state of the person just by how they look. Everybody I know that smokes crack growing up, you can be around them, you can just see them, you ain't even got to be around them. Just from the visualization of how they appear to look when you see them, you can pretty much tell if they're getting high or not. You can just tell. Just like with DMX, throughout the years, we've seen him at some of his low points, times when he was really strung out and he looked bad. You know what I'm saying? He looked like you can tell he was smoking again. But that's not how he looked. Over these past few months, he looked totally different. You know what I'm saying? He looked healthy. He didn't look like a person that was getting high. If you go back to the versus battle with Snoop Doggy Dogg, it seemed like he kind of was, they lured him out for this to happen. They put him in the versus battle, which is sponsored by Ciroc. Of course, is a part, because DMX even said himself on the Drink Champs interview. Remember what he said? He said, "Fame itself is a drug. Fame itself is something that could bring you down. Just the fame part of it." A lot of people associate certain things with only doing. Some people can't enjoy certain things who have drug habits. They can't enjoy the certain events and certain types of things in their life without the drug to go along with it, because it's not the same thing. He's been on the low for mad long. He's doing the album, but he hasn't really been out in the front. So they put him on the versus battle around partying, fame again, put him back onto the spotlight. You know what I'm saying? Of course, people are drinking, partying around him. That was a few months ago. Then they come back, put him on Drink Champs, with actually in the room with people partying, smoking, drinking, and stuff like that. And like I said in the other video, one thing I know about drug addicts of any kind of drug, the number one cause of relapse is alcohol. I guarantee you, alcohol is the number one cause of relapse, because for one, a person that's been getting themselves together, been clean, if you start really getting into it, you're associating with criminal activity, breaking the law, doing drugs. But alcohol is not illegal. That's how people always get caught up. They get into the mind state. They show up at a party or go to a little event somewhere, and one beer ain't gonna hurt. They get a beer. It's only a beer. You know what I'm saying? But that one beer that they drink will eventually lead them back to the drug of choice that they do. I guarantee you. I've seen it happen plenty of times. Look, over and over and over. The drug of choice for relapse is alcohol, because it's friendly sounding. You can go right to the store and buy it. It ain't like you gotta with weed, you gotta break the law to buy weed or coke, or alcohol is right there at the store. You go in there and buy a little thing of alcohol, for you could drink a beer and everything will be up, but it never ends up like that for drug addicts when they start drinking alcohol. So they put him in the room with alcohol and drugs right in front of him, and then he indulges. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sitting here blaming Nori. I'm not gonna look at it super spooky and say that they intentionally lured him into it like Nori and him, but whoever was in control of where he was going, the stuff he was doing over this past few months, it seemed like they lured him back out into the drug atmosphere. I don't care how strong a person is, an addict, if you've been stopping for how long, how many months or years, it's always detrimental to have an addict around drugs and alcohol, no matter what, no matter how far they are into their sobriety. It's just a fact. So that's it's kind of seen. And then behind the scenes, he's making this album coming out, and he signed back to a label now. So what better time is there to take somebody out, this, you know what I'm saying, celebrated rapper, coming out with a new album, has millions of fans still. Now he dies in the middle of the album coming out. So now the album's going to come out, and of course it's going to break, maybe not be the biggest selling album of all times, but if it's going to sell millions of copies, of course, streams or however they do it now, you know what I'm saying? It just adds all the extra layers of all the excitement to the story. Like Biggie, like who was it, Jada? You know, dead rappers get better promotion. You know what I'm saying? So the whole thing, and then the way TMZ just came out so quick and said overdose. Like I said in a different video, how would they know it's an overdose? And if it is, even if he had drugs around him when he was dead, you don't know that that's the cause of death or not. An autopsy hasn't been done. We don't know DMX to be doing dope opiates. Maybe he has. I never heard of it. I just know he was doing coke and crack. We know that coke could kill you. You know what I'm saying? Sniffing too much coke definitely can kill you. But smoking crack, no. They don't. People don't just die from smoking crack. And he looked healthy. You know what I'm saying? He didn't look like he was getting high no more. So like I said in the other video, did the Drink Champs interview cause him to if he really relapsed and really was on drugs or died from doing drugs, did the Drink Champs interview cause him to relapse? You know what I'm saying? It's a perfect opportunity for them to blame it on drugs, because we just saw him on Drink Champs indulging in alcohol and stuff like that. So it wouldn't be far-fetched to turn around a month later and be like, oh, the Joker died from a drug overdose. And like I said, who found him? Because what family member would allow him to be found with drugs around so they can know automatically right away it's a drug overdose? They talk about this fake news and all this stuff. How come TMZ can get away with saying something like that? Even if it was a drug overdose, there was no autopsy performed. Even if he had a needle in his arm, it still ain't no autopsy performed. It's not a legal, verifiable statement to say he died from a drug overdose immediately. There has to be an autopsy. He could have been doing a drug, and then the ceiling could have, you know what I'm saying? It could have been carbon monoxide. It could be anything. You don't know what it could be. You can't just make a statement like that from the door. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not sure what Jaguar Wright is saying is true, but I goddamn for sure wouldn't be surprised if it is, because this whole thing just seemed fishy. None of it seemed right. We're not gonna get to the whole, I did a video with the Prince Philip stuff and all that type of stuff, connection, but besides all the conspiracy stuff, just looking at what we know, it don't look right anyway.